You want to know how to make easy peasy slow motions and time lapses with your brand new ZV E10? I've got you covered. Bonjour my fellow high-tech fans, my name is Celine. Welcome back to my channel. Before we jump into the video, you should consider subscribing because when I make tutorials like this one, it's short and straight to the point, les amis. Let's see first how to shoot slow motion movies in the S&Q settings, and then we will do the quick motion later on this video. And before we jump into the explanations, there are two very important informations you need to know about the slow motion option. The movie will be recorded in XAVC SHD format and not in 4K, and the sound will not be recorded. Just in case you wanted to hear your voice in slow motion in your videos, well, that won't be possible. Press the Still Movie S&Q button to select the slow motion, quick motion recording mode. Each time you press the button, the shooting mode switches in the order of still image shooting mode, movie recording mode, and slow motion quick motion recording mode. Now, let's set it up. Go to the menu, Camera Settings 2, Shoot Mode, and select the desired setting of slow motion you want. Program Auto, Aperture Priority, Shutter Priority, or Manual Exposure. Select Menu, Camera Settings 2, S&Q Settings, and select the desired settings for the record settings and the frame rate. Now, keep in mind that the playback speed will vary depending on the assigned record setting and the frame rate. If you choose NTSC, your frame rate will go up to 120 frames per second. If you choose PAL, it will go up to only 100 frames per second. Wait, what? What does it mean? That shooting in NTSC is better in slow motion? Let's talk about it so you'll get it right. The American standard for video has long been 30 frames per second for broadcast television. 30 frames per second was chosen for ideal synchronization with the 60 Hz power standard of the United States. This format is known as NTSC. In Europe, the video standard is 25 frames per second due to its 50 Hz power standard. This format is known as PAL. Online video is often uploaded at 30 FPS and sometimes even at 60 FPS for action-heavy content. Online content, such as YouTube and Facebook videos, doesn't need to adhere to practices of television standards, and likewise, they also don't need to conform to cinematic frame rates. Ultimately, this will come down to the type of content you're creating. If you're filming travel vlogs and want to capture a cinematic atmosphere, you might want to run with 24 FPS or 25 FPS. If you're vlogging or shooting fast-paced action, you'd want to run with a high frame rate to negate the blur from slower frame rates. So to your question, should I use NTSC settings for slow motion? My answer is yes. How to do that? If you are in PAL settings and want to switch to NTSC to get a higher frame rate, first of all, make sure you don't have any photos or videos left on your card or they will be erased. Then, go to the menu, go on the little suitcase right here and click on NTSC PAL selector. It will reboot and then you are good to go. Let's start with NTSC settings. If your record setting is at 24p and your frame rate is at 120 FPS, your video will be 5 times slower. If your record setting is at 30p and your frame rate is at 120 frames per second, your video will be 4 times slower. Let's use the PAL settings now. If your record setting is at 25p and your frame rate is at 100 FPS, your video will be 4 times slower. That's the higher you can go. If your record setting is at 25p and your frame rate is at 50 FPS, your video will be 2 times slower. When the frame rate is set to 120 or 100 FPS, you cannot set record settings to 60 or 50p. In slow motion recording, the shutter speed becomes faster and you may not be able to obtain the proper exposure. If you want to avoid this problem, you should consider subscribing to my channel. And also, you should decrease the aperture value or adjust the ISO sensitivity to a higher value. How? By avoiding the automatic program. You don't want to choose the automatic program, as it allows you to shoot with the exposure adjusted automatically, both the shutter speed and the aperture value. Switch on the manual exposure in order to adjust the exposure, meaning you can control the shutter speed and the aperture. Creating time lapses is also very easy using the S&Q button. Let's see how to make a time lapse with the S&Q settings. Let's go back to our menu. Go to Camera Settings 2, Shoot Mode, and select the desired setting of quick motion you want. Program Auto, Aperture Priority, Shutter Priority, or Manual Exposure. Select the menu, go to Camera Settings 2, S&Q Settings, and select the desired settings for the record setting and the frame rate. In the NTSC settings, if your record setting is at 24p and your frame rate is at 1 fps, your video will be 24 times quicker. If your record setting is at 30p and your frame rate is at 1 fps, your video will be 30 times quicker. Impressive, right? But that's not it. If your record setting is at 60p and your frame rate is at 1 fps, your video will be 60 times quicker. Let's use the PAL settings now. If your record setting is at 25p and your frame rate is at 1 fps, your video will be 25 times quicker. That's the higher you can go. If your record setting is at 50p and your frame rate is at 1 fps, your video will be 50 times quicker. Does it mean that you have to go all the time in the menu and do all those settings just to do a time lapse and a slow motion? Thankfully not! There is a camera setting memory right here that will help you not to pull out your hair in vain. It allows you to register often used modes or camera settings. You can register 1 to the camera and up to 4 to the memory card. Registered settings can be recalled when shooting. You can register individually in the still image shooting mode, the movie recording mode, and the slow motion, quick motion recording mode. Set the product to the setting you want to register. Go to Menu, Camera Settings 1, then go to page 3. At the bottom of the list, you see MR Camera Set Memory. Choose the desired number. Here, for me, it's M1. The shooting settings for the currently selected mode, still image shooting mode, movie recording mode, slow motion, and quick motion recording mode will be registered. Press the still, movie, S&Q button to select the desired shooting mode. In the movie recording mode or the slow motion, quick motion recording mode, perform the following procedure. Go to the menu, Camera Settings 2, Shoot Mode or S&Q Shoot Mode, MR Recall Camera Settings. Et voilà les amis, I hope I made it easier for you. Let me know in the comment section. And don't forget to like, subscribe and come and say hi to my other social media accounts. Take care. Salut!